Will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about because it's not
think about
one
it right
that,
now.
It's not one, my motivation for this job
I understand
has never
that. I
been
just
about
need
what
a
could
yes or no
conceivably
here.
come next.
Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be
In
at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Elizabeth Warren thought she was walking into that hearing to destroy Pete Hegseth. Instead, millions of Americans watched another Washington politician completely unravel the second someone pushed back against the Democrat narrative. What started as an attack over women in combat quickly turned into a brutal exposure of how the left prioritizes identity politics over military effectiveness, and viewers instantly saw through it.
Just saying we should not have women in combat roles. Now, I presume you recall making all these statements?
Senator, I'm not familiar with the article you're pointing to in 2013, but it underscores my argument completely because in that 2013 argument, I was talking about standards.
No,
standards are what it's always been about,
let's not
Senator.
have this same fight again.
Always been about Senate
I've
standards.
quoted you directly. We've got the video. We're happy to show it. But I want to be clear here. For 12 years, you were quite open about your views, and your views were consistently the same. Women are inferior soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and guardians. And in case anyone missed the point, and these are your words from 10 weeks ago, women absolutely straight up should not be permitted to serve in combat. And I notice on each of these quotes, those are said without qualification. It's not by how much you can lift or how fast you can run. They don't belong in combat, period, or your words, straight up. And then on November 9th, 2024, just 32 days after your last public comment saying that women absolutely should not be in combat, you declared that, quote, some of our greatest warriors are women, and you support having them serve in combat. Now, that is a very, very big about face in a very, very short period of time. So help me understand, Mr. Hegseth, what extraordinary event happened in that 32-day period that made you change the core values you had expressed for the preceding 12 years?
Senator, again, I very much appreciate you bringing up my comments from 2013 because for me, this issue has always been about standards. And unfortunately, because of some of the people that have been in political power for the last 4 years, priorities other than standards, lethality, and meritocracy have driven decision-making.
I'm quoting you from the podcast. Women shouldn't be in combat at all. Where is the reference to standards? That they should be there if they can carry, if they can run? I don't see that at all, Mr. Hegseth. What I see is that there's a 32-day period in which you suddenly have another description about your views of women in the military. And I just want to know, what changed in the 32 days that the song you sang is not the song you come in here today to sing?
Senator, the concerns I have and the concerns that many have had, especially in ground combat units, is that in pursuit of certain percentages or quotas, standards have been changed. And that makes the combat more difficult for everybody involved.
Let me make a suggestion about what happened in that 32 days. You got a nomination from President Trump. Now, I've heard of deathbed conversions, but this is the first time I've heard of a nomination conversion. And I hope you understand that many women serving in the military right now might think that if you can convert so rapidly your long-held and aggressively pursued views in just 32 days, that 32 days after you get confirmed, maybe you'll just reverse those views and go back to the old guy who said straight up, women do not belong in combat. Now, Mr. Hegseth, you have written that after they retire, generals should be banned from working for the defense industry for 10 years. You and I agree on the corrosive effects of the revolving door between the Pentagon and defense contractors. It's something I would have liked to talk with you about if you'd come and been willing to visit with me. But the question I have for you on this is, will you put your money where your mouth is and agree that when you leave this job, you will not work for the defense industry for 10 years?
Senator, it's not even a question I've thought about because
You can
it's
think
not
about it
one
right
that,
now.
It's not one, my motivation for this job
I understand
has never
that. I
been
just
about
need
what
a
could
yes or no
conceivably
here.
come next.
Time is short. I just need a yes or no.
I would consult with the president about what the policy should be
In
at the Defense
other
Department.
words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. So you're saying sauce for the goose, but certainly not sauce for the gander?
I would want to see what the policy of the
Oh,
president
I'll
is.
bet you would.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
This hearing
If that hearing
perfectly
proved
captured
anything-
everything Americans are exhausted with in Washington right now. Elizabeth Warren came in armed with outrage, scripted attacks, and carefully selected sound bites from years ago, fully expecting Pete Hegseth to fold under pressure like so many nominees before him. But that's not what happened. Because while Warren kept trying to turn the entire hearing into an emotional spectacle about gender politics, Hegseth kept dragging the conversation back to the one topic Democrats never want to debate honestly: military standards. And the second the conversation becomes about standards, the entire left-wing narrative starts collapsing. That's why this exchange hit such a nerve online. Warren wanted Americans focused on accusations. Hegseth wanted Americans focused on combat readiness. Big difference. The left hates these conversations because once people start asking real questions, Democrats suddenly don't have good answers anymore. Were standards lowered? Were political quotas prioritized? Did military readiness take a back seat to ideology? That's the debate Warren desperately tried to avoid. Instead, she kept repeating old quotes over and over again, hoping emotional outrage would replace actual discussion. But viewers noticed something important. Hegseth never backed away from the core issue. He consistently brought the conversation back to lethality, merit, readiness, and standards for combat units. And honestly, that's what frustrated Democrats the most. Because modern Washington hearings aren't really designed to debate ideas anymore. They're designed to intimidate, accuse, shame, force compliance, destroy dissent. That's the formula. But this time, the formula didn't work. The more aggressive Warren became, the more disconnected she started sounding from ordinary Americans watching at home. People are tired of career politicians acting like disagreement automatically makes someone dangerous. They're tired of emotional manipulation replacing serious conversation. And they're especially tired of politicians lecturing military leaders about combat effectiveness while having zero real-world combat experience themselves. That's why so many Americans watching this hearing immediately sided with Hegseth. Not because every single issue is simple, but because voters can tell when someone is speaking honestly about readiness versus when someone is performing for political theater. Then Warren tried pivoting to the defense industry revolving door issue. And once again, instead of debating policy seriously, she tried forcing a gotcha moment with rapid-fire yes or no questions designed more for